Nuts and Bolts, Day 2, Absent Student Instructional PowerPoint. Remember, you will need to turn in your learning inventory assignment upon your return, and I want you to think about why are you in this class. Again, the course aim is that you will understand how art communicates. Remember, that drives everything we're doing. This unit, the goal is for you to establish a foundation for success in this course. The content objective for today is for you to know and understand the classroom rules, expectations, and procedures. The language objective would be for you to summarize the 3 Ps. This will be done in the unit handout. There's space for it there. But if you want to do it at home on a separate sheet of paper, just write a 1-sentence summary of one of the points of the rules that are being discussed. You can write it on the paper at home and staple it to the unit handout on your return. B, prompt. Attendance. This is a production class. Be here as much as possible. Most projects require media and materials that cannot be taken out of the classroom and are definitely not to be taken home. This means that to make up your missed time, you will need to come in outside of class or work very hard during class to catch up. If you need to be absent, check the lesson plans to see a description of what is being covered that day, and if possible, complete the work at home. If you are suspended, either in or out of school, you will lose all daily focus points and still be held accountable to make up the work. The school tardy policy will be enforced. You need to be on time. Get a pass from the teacher if you are staying late in their class. Without a pass, your tardy will be considered unexcused and marked accordingly. If you need to use the restroom during passing period, come to me first and let me know. I will consider it as an excused tardy. If you do not check with me first, it will be unexcused. There is a drinking fountain outside the music rooms. Get your drink on the way to class. There's no reason to be tardy over a drink of water. Passes. Passes will be recorded on my seating chart, attendance. If you are habitual in using passes, I will discuss it with you, and if it continues after that, it will impact your daily focus points. For your information, one of my pet peeves is watching a student talk with their friends in the classroom before the bell and then asking for a pass right after the bell. I am human, I have buttons, and this is one of them. Deadlines. When I set project due dates, I consider how long it would take me to do a good job on it, and then double the time. I will post on the studio slide how far you should be on your project by the end of class that day. If you are behind, you need to do one or both of these things. Stop wasting time. Come in outside of class, such as during a study hall or before or after school. Some students are very meticulous about their art, and I appreciate the effort, but I need you to come in outside of class to try and keep up. Special arrangements can be made to extend a deadline only if I see effort during class and outside of class. Be prepared. As your teacher, I am responsible for providing you with opportunities to learn. But education is personal. You are responsible for your learning. Own it. The agenda board. This is a tool that will help maximize our time together, meaning you'll have more time to create art. You are expected to read it as soon as you enter the classroom with focus on the Getting Started section. Follow the instructions listed there, preferably before you even sit down. If we have to wait for you to do this at the expense of instruction time, it will be recorded and you will lose daily focus points. The homework for this class, there's not much, and what there is typically think instead of do. By this I mean you will be asked to decide the subject matter for your art between classes so that your class time is spent working on the art and not figuring out what you want to do. If a written or digital assignment is given and there is not enough class time for you to finish it during class, you'll be expected to complete it outside of class. Having a proper attitude. You need to be an active participant in your education. Do your best to leave distractions at the door. The chances of them going away during the class period are negligible, and all you will do is add to your problems by falling behind in this class. If there is something very heavy on your heart, please tell me so that I might be more considerate about it and not push you too hard and add more angst to your day. Art is a creative process. Expect and even welcome mistakes and accidents to your work. Then get creative and try to make them work for you. Almost always, these mistakes lead me to a better work of art than I originally intended. When I feel my art is beyond repair is when it holds the most possibility. It's already ruined, so why not get really daring and creative and see what happens? It can't get any worse than ruined. Be polite. Vulgar language is not sophisticated. It doesn't make you seem older. It's inappropriate for the educational setting, and it is crass. If I hear an inappropriate word, I will ask you to stop using it. I've had students who use vulgar language so often they don't even know they're doing it. I'll call them on it and they'll say they didn't, and I can tell they're not trying to get out of trouble and that they sincerely do not realize they use the word. This can be real trouble when such language is so common you don't even know you're using it, like during a job interview or meeting the parents of your special someone. Grandma's rules. Grandma is smarter than you think, and as you get older you will realize it. My grandmother had 3 big rules. 1, say please and thank you. 2, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, the golden rule. And 3, if you can't say anything nice, find something nice to say. Look, even I enjoy playful banter from time to time, but when we enter into it, we need to be very aware of the person we are playing with, and we need to recognize their tone of voice, facial expression, and body language clues to recognize their mood. They get to decide if they are offended. The person doing the playing doesn't get to decide that. If it happens, and we all have bad days, apologize and stop. Care of materials and cleanup. Look, this is simple. You mess it, you clean it. We need to take care of the tools and the media that the taxpayers have provided for us. Clean them and return them. You can even work in teams. One person cleans the desks while the other cleans the brushes, something along those lines. If you help out and are seen helping others clean up, you can receive bonus daily participation points. Always be aware of others' art and treat it with respect. Sometimes art will fall off the storage shelf and onto the ground. If you see it, pick it up. Don't just stand on it. And do not purposefully mess with someone's artwork. You have no right to touch anybody's artwork without their permission. That's another one of my buttons. Additional items. Cell phones and tablets. They are allowed, as there will be many times that they're useful and even essential tools towards the learning in this classroom. However, you need to understand when they are appropriate and when they are not. When we are in studio, you may listen to your music via your earbuds, but the volume needs to be at such a level that you can still hear others. They are totally unacceptable and rude when the instructor or other students are presenting information. Cleanup time. The instructor will announce cleanup time, which will vary depending on the media we are using. Cleaning up early will result in a lower daily participation score. Be responsible for your materials. Dismissal. Do not block the door. In general, I don't like students lining up before the bell. If it is a continuous issue, you will be required to stay in your seat until the bell rings. Doing work from other classes. This is art class. Doing work from other courses is another of my pet peeves. If we are doing anything other than studio, it is not acceptable. If you finish a project before the deadline, you need to apply the art is not about being done first, it is about being done best test, and remember, good enough never is. You can always find another level of right. If the work is acceptable in quality to you, then you should do more art or study art or look through art magazines or the books available in the back of the room. If there is a strong need to study other coursework, ask me first. If you don't, you will lose those daily points. We need to know what to do in case of an emergency for this classroom. In case of fire, you will go out the north door, which is an exit directly to the outside. You'll go into the parking lot and across the street and onto the hill beyond the street. I need you to stay as a group so that I can take attendance and make sure no one is left behind to become a crispy critter. In case of a storm, we will go out the main door of the classroom into the hallway. We will proceed east down the hallway to that section where you line up for lunch. That section of hallway that is between the commons area and the theater. There will be many students going into that area, so you need to squeeze together and duck and cover against a wall. In case of a lockdown, I'll have you move to the southeast corner of the room and you can spill up the south wall towards the main door entry, but we want you to be away from that door as much as possible. I will take care of everything else, and the big thing to remember, and I'll say it as politely as I can, the big thing to remember is sit down and shut up. That's all you need to do. I have been through many lockdowns in my time teaching in Colorado. I was there when the Columbine High School shootings happened. I knew a teacher who taught at Columbine High School, so this stuff is pretty personal to me. Even to the point where I've seen movies at the theater where those shootings happened in Aurora, Colorado. So please, let's take the lockdown drill seriously. If you have any questions about any of the drills, you can ask me. If you don't ask and the drill happens and you're not sure what to do, the best thing to do is just stay quiet and listen for my instructions. There is an assignment for you to make up today. Doing it as an exit pass for the students that are here. What I want you to do on a sheet of paper, half sheet of paper, if you have a note card at home, that's great. I want you to write the reason you are taking this course. And I'm using this as an informal assessment of your writing skills. I'm looking for complete sentences, correct punctuation, spelling. But anyway it goes, it will be a 20-point completion assignment on the foundation layer. So please do it, and on your return, get that to me.